The next tool that we're going to learn about is the easy for me to say, the quick selection tool. It's a fairly new one and it's awesome. Well, it's not, it's probably 5 years old already. I don't know. Time flies. It's fast, it's fairly accurate, and you can tweak it as you need to. It also looks for edges. So again, if there's that contrast between the item you're selecting and the color behind it, this is going to work well. If we have yellow flowers on a yellow background, probably not as well. So make sure that you've turned off all the layers, we've reactivated the background layer, and even more importantly, make sure, oops, I didn't mean to rename it, make sure that we're actively targeting the background layer again. So this one needs to be highlighted. Just because you think you're on a layer or you have an eyeball on doesn't mean you're actually working on it. If something isn't working, I encourage you to always immediately look at your layers panel and make sure that you're on the layer that you think you're on or that you need to be on. So we need to work with the background layer so that we're selecting these pixels again. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. All right, the quick selection tool is the next tool down, and nested under it we have object selection, quick selection, and magic wand. So choose the quick selection tool. W is the keyboard shortcut to get to this family, and the quick selection tool. All right, right away I can see I have a huge cursor. I'm getting a preview of it here with my circle, and up in the option bar I see 400. Brush sizes, whatever, is to use the left and right brackets on your keyboard. So right to the right of the letter P, we have left and right brackets. One makes it smaller, the one on the left, the one on the right makes it bigger. When you use this tool, I use a fairly big brush, so in relationship to what I'm working on, this is a good size brush. What I'm going to do is, as you are using this tool, you are always adding to the selection. That's a default behavior of this. So as I start to move to the right, it knows I want all of this, and it'll probably go up here and grab this. I might need to move a little down for it to grab this, but the marching ants are going to grow with me as I move around. If I go too far, they're going to grow all the way out here to the border of the image. So you have to be careful. If you add something that you shouldn't, there's a way to get rid of it, but just know that it's always adding to the selection. If we hold down the option key, we take away from our selection. We don't have anything there yet to take away from. So some other things to pay attention to up here at the top. Sample all layers. Right now, we're only working on this one layer, and that's all we want to do. But if you have that on, it would enable the quick selection tool to use all visible layers as a basis for its selection. So if we had this turned on and this turned on and this turned on, and we use this tool with sample all layers, it would be grabbing anything and everything that we can see from these layers, which basically is just these two. The other two are covered up. So we're going to leave this turned off, and we're going to turn off the eyeballs of these three and make sure that we're only on the background layer over here before we use it. The auto enhance up here that is checked helps you refine your selection edge by removing roughness or blockiness. Just make sure that this is turned on for best results, and it probably should be. So with this tool, and I might make my cursor a smidge smaller, I'm going to start dragging. And if my computer isn't so slow, you see that as I go into an area, it is adding to that selection. So far, so good. This is really slow. Hey, there we go. I'm happy with that, so I'm going to stop. If you happen to go too far out into this green, you're going to have to use the option key, and I'll show you what that looks like by doing an accident here. So I'm just adding to this selection. I'll do it a little bit more extreme. So with that same tool, I just clicked and dragged up as if I wanted to select this too. If that were not the case, I need to switch to the takeaway, which is holding down your option key. Do you see how I have a minus sign now? And now what I do is I just kind of smush down on these edges. And if my computer weren't so slow, you'd actually see this kind of denting in real time. So I might need to make my cursor a little bit smaller. Boy, this is not a good demo because my computer is so slow. It should not take this level of effort to process this. This is not a big file. And over the weekend, I've had Photoshop crash on me, so I'm kind of fearful. I'm going to make this smaller, hold down Option, and I'm going to push down from the outside, kind of push down these selections to take things away. Wow. All right, last time. Hopefully this is enough. All right. That's a bit too much. So the nice thing is we can always fix this. So I went a little too far on that one. So when I get my cursor back, I'm still in the plus mode or adding. I can just go and kind of touch this yellow area and hopefully it'll add it back. All right, this is not a superb selection, but in the interest of my sanity, we need to keep moving on here. All right, get rid of you right there. Okay, so we have a pretty decent selection right now. We also need to get rid of this part right here. So we're going to have to zoom in, Command plus, and then I need to make my cursor a lot smaller. Hold down the Option key and try to select this little triangle inside of here as best I can while holding the Option key. If I zoom out, I'm probably going to be pretty happy with that result. That'll be good. All right, so with the marching ants active, meaning the selection is all of these pixels inside of here minus the one that we knocked out, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do a copy because we're on this background layer. We're going to copy these pixels inside the marching ants, so Command C. We're going to come up to this top layer, select it, and then we're going to paste, Command V. And that is going to put a new layer on top of that one. First thing we want to do is rename it, and this was the quick selection tool. So double click on the word layer 1, quick selection tool. Let's see how it looks. Let's turn off our background layer. Let's see how it looks on black. Notice I have some kind of fringy edges here, but not bad. And how it looks on white. Definitely still see some issues here. So check our results. We can see how did it compare to the magnetic lasso. Not sure, depends. Let's now turn that layer off, come down to the background layer, turn it on, and make sure you click on it to activate it.